So now we back, right? And I wanted to get into the education because I believe that education is definitely the foundation for productive people of the world. Now, I also feel, and I'm gonna ask you, Mike, after I finish my statement, that the kids today are so advanced in the educational program itself. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So now we're getting misbehavior, conduct.
Of course.
And now you've been told that your child is ADHD.
Yeah.
And they starting to come up with all these diagnoses. But when all the time it's like, yo, hold up. The things I'm learning on the computer is way past what you're trying to teach me. And
because that's where all the jobs are.
Right. Right.
Keep it real.
Right. And so my biggest thought has been with the educational program, me personally, is like, yo, look, why hasn't anybody redirected the way the system is set up? Because to me, it would make more sense to send a child between 1st to 7th grade on the basic educational program, primary education, and then take them from 8th to the 12th with trade and business courses.
Exactly.
So that when they graduate, that they would have
early college,
a trade and everything to move forward. Yeah, I don't have to go to college. I got a trade.
Exactly.
I got something for myself.
Yeah.
And it seems like the school system just isn't doing that. And the way that the kids are developing and the electronics that they have access to at this time is just like skyrocketed.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Like even like with the military, or when we're looking at the presidential services, we didn't get them damn pads until years later. They was using that. We thought that was something high tech. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, but now all of this is fall down, and even now the iRobots, $20,000, you can buy you a robot. You get what I'm saying? And things of that nature. And these kids will definitely know how to use it. You know. So with that being said, in the educational program, how do you feel between how you've made it? And I know you've been in this college system for. When they say the school of hard knocks,
all day.
he went through. I didn't go
to Penn State. I went to the State Penn.
State Penn, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah. No, so to me, education was key, and I'm gonna tell you why. When I first went in, I remember at Polk Youth Center, Jocelyn King, which was the counselor, so much as being the analyzer of who I was. When we did the IQ test, I scored 192, which is a high IQ. And so she was like, listen, I just feel like you need to spend a lot of your days in this institution in education. Right. So I can recommend you to go to a camp where they do college courses and blah, blah, blah. I was like, yo, they do college in prison? She was like, Negro, the judge sentenced you to prison, not hell.
Right.
So I was like, oh, wow, yeah, definitely sign me up. And you can see that in the movie.
I definitely.
You know what I'm saying? And so Shar Jackson plays the role of Jocelyn King.
Okay.
And she did a great job. Shout out to my girl Shar, from Moesha, Good Burger and all
blessings.
that. Yeah, and so she talks about the situation of being able to go to college. So I actually got 2 college degrees in prison. One in computer systems technology.
Okay.
The other one was in business management. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Graduated, you know what I'm saying, magna cum laude in both of them. Because I couldn't go to parties. So I had time to study all the time. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So with that being said, I did 13 years of education out of my 17 years being incarcerated. So yeah, definitely, man. And I'm going to tell you why, though. It was very important because my other years outside of the 8 years, the other 9 years was done in trade school.
What I just said?
Small engine repair, automotive mechanics, carpentry, brick mason, horticulture and landscaping. All of these things that now, guess what? I don't have to hire nobody to do anything at the house that I own.
Right.
I can do pretty much everything myself.
Right.
And not only that, but it's a trade that makes money. People all over the United States have air conditioners. So if you studied HVAC,
Yes.
Hair condition needs to be fixed every day during the summer.
Yeah.
So that's a job.
Yes.
You understand what I'm saying? That pays way more than minimum wage. That's
It's a
establishment. It's a trade. It's establishment.
It's a trade.
It's income. It's being able to make sure that you sustain. So why not take this same system that is involved with prison and utilize it in our school system? Like, I'm always pro STEM. We actually added an A because the arts are necessary, but STEAM.
Okay.
Science, technology, engineering, arts, and math. And the reason why I feel like that's a plus when it comes to our community, because as a culture of African Americans, which is, lack of a better term, black folks, we are very intellectual artistically.
True.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Very intellectual artistically.
Let me break that. Let me
Creatively.
Let me break this down. Cause I believe I said this earlier. I'm not the motherfucker to go into the book.
Exactly.
I'm the type of person that's artistically thoughtful about bringing forth manifestation of thought. Right?
Yeah.
It doesn't take a book to bring this science together. It just takes the common knowledge to get it. You know what I'm saying? And I always say, like, the basis to a real foundation of education is being able to read.
Exactly. Key thing. To be able to connote and understand the language that's necessary to survive in this culture, in this country, and in this day and time. So I'm going to tell you something. We come from some of the biggest architectural engineers and everything that designed pyramids and everything else that became the predecessor to what we use. We're right here in D.C. Look around.
Right.
Your monuments.
Right.
Your
engineer.
Exactly. We know who they say, but at the same time, we got to figure this out.
Yeah.
Keep in mind, it took mathematics.
Definitely.
It took science.
Definitely.
It took engineering.
Definitely.
It took arts creatively. You know what I'm saying? It took technology advancement for us to understand what it is that it takes to make a large city. A large city is a city that thrives. It definitely thrived through the Industrial Revolution. So keep in mind that your people like, Eldridge Cleaver from the Black Panther Party, he said it best in Souls on Ice. You remember when he was talking about that we evolve as they allow us to evolve. But the only way you can evolve is through education. So with education, I am not against a curriculum, but make sure that the curriculum is designed for the massive amount of brain cells that exist in my people. Don't dumb them down. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Create a curriculum that allows somebody to advance in technology, in science, in math, in the arts, and so on and so forth, and engineering. So with that being said, let me just tell you, when I went in, I got my college degree again in computer system technology. What am I doing now? I'm a filmmaker.
Okay.
I edit film.
Right.
I produce. I do a lot of things in the digital world because I had that foundation in prison.
Right.
13 years or 17 years in school. How did I become an award-winning filmmaker, a TV and film actor, an entrepreneur? When I first came home, we started one of the best restaurants that exist in North Carolina. There's 3 locations.
Can you shout it out?
Dame's Chicken and Waffles. I'll never be afraid to shout it out. We started in Durham, North Carolina, went to Greensboro, North Carolina. Man, we cannot keep a line out the way. You know why? Because that was art. It's called culinary arts.
Right.
So culinary arts, everybody loves to eat. There's an education behind that. You have to know ingredients. You have to measure. You have to learn math. You have to do all of this to create a great food product.
Look.
Education.
3rd grade. Don't mean to cut you off.
No,
3rd
do your thing,
grade, they used to have culinary arts in my school.
Not just 3rd, but 7th, 8th, and 9th in middle school.
We knew how to make donuts. We was putting donuts in the grease and the dough and
biscuit
sugar.
dough.
Yeah.
Taking biscuits and making donuts.
Do they do that now?
Let me just tell you something. Arts has been removed, and I'm gonna tell you why. There's a certain amount of money that goes to arts. And if we can't fund our great teachers and professors that are out there, why are we going to put more money into the arts? You see what I'm saying? So listen, what it's all about is we got to figure out how to take this beautiful land of opportunity that we got called America, the capitalistic society that we are living in nowadays, and take this extra funding, this money that's going around being paid to people that need to be millionaires, to the people that deserve to be millionaires, and make sure that they are able to sustain at the same time they are teaching our little kings and queens to become the leaders of the world that we call the future. But that's a big problem. You know why? Because money is designed for the 1%, the elite.
Yeah.
So if I can keep you in the unelite, I'm going to say the unelite, if that's a word. I'm a poet, so I can say it. The unelite. Okay. If we keep them as the unelite or the not so elite, guess what happens? We are back into a society of what I call modern day slavery. We control the mind state. We control the situation. And let me just tell you something. You and me both know when we studied on the inside, there were 16 shades of blackness, right?
Yes, sir.
These 16 shades of blackness cover a wide spectrum of people that are gifted in so many ways. If you teach us right, guess what happens? We live right. But if you teach us wrong, we live wrong. So when it comes to education, let me get back on the subject. When it comes to education, when I got all those trades and those college degrees, guess what? I came home equipped. Because I knew I was in a system that was designed for my demise. Mm-hmm. But if I can capture this education, oh, but God. Oh, but God. Watch how I come home and capitalize off of that.
Yeah.
Because a mind is a terrible thing to waste.
Especially when they give you the time to use it.
Exactly. And a waste is a terrible thing to mind. So I'm not going to come home and chase every piece of tail. I'm going to come home and chase every tale, which is a story.
Yeah.
And my story is success. And so everything was designed behind education.
Hey, with that being said, man, I brought y'all just an enlightenment part of this blunt conversation. This is Black Language Unifying Nations Together, a conversation with my man, Michael Ray Anderson. Again, if you get the opportunity on Amazon, you can
check out the book and the actual movie, which is adapted from the book. Is on Tubi and Amazon. It's called A Polished Soul. Yeah, my man right here, he plays an inmate. He did a great job. It took a lot of acting skills.
Yeah, it took a lot to put me back in that orange suit.
Yeah, I know. That was definitely.
If he wasn't my homeboy, I wouldn't have put the shit on. Real shit. I wasn't going back. I'm not going back in the orange.
Nah, we not. We're going back in the black.
Yeah.
But look, let me just tell you something, man. You check it out, man. I promise you, and I just want to say this, man. I'm proud of you.
I appreciate you.
Blunt conversation is something that I know and understand needed to come to pass years ago, man. I appreciate you taking the effort and stepping forth, man. So we're going to count this as a blessing. We're going to count this as a success. We're going to count this as something that's going to wake up a lot of people, man. Give the education factor to people, because I'm going to be honest with you, man. One of the things that I know and understand, man, is that when I went in, man, I'll be honest with you, I had no idea what my gifts were. And I had no idea that my gifts were going to make way. But I had to figure out what my gifts were, and I had to hone my gifts. I had to feed my gifts. I had to cultivate my gifts. Now, bro, I'm going to be honest with you. When I sit down and I get a request for an audition to be in a movie, I sit down and I study now. I don't just go do an audition. I don't just jump up in front of a camera and spit lines.
Right.
I go study. I do the research. Why is my character who he is? What is this movie about? Is it a biopic? Is it an adaptation of something or whatever? I research and study. Why? Because I have been educated. So now that I'm educated, guess what happens from here on out? I take my life story, his story, turn it into history, and make sure that every single person that thinks they want to go down the road that we already been down,
yes, sir,
is educated about that road.
Yeah. Know before you go.
Yeah, know before you go. And if you don't want to listen when you go in, I promise you, they got opportunities. You can either go in the yard, lift weights all day, and play cards all day, or you can go to school. I did both, because I promise you, I'm standing right in front of you in this camera. 52
you can be with the boys.
52 years old. I was talking about
do that.
No, Diddy. Look,
Diddy had it, nigga. Fuck you talking about? Nah.
Look, let me just tell you something. No. This is going through the edit, boy. So
that's it.
No. Let me just tell you something. Like, No one understand, man, that 17 and a half years on the inside was enough for me to realize, with a life sentence, was enough for me to realize that life is life. You understand what I'm saying? And while we on the topic of blunt conversation, you gotta understand that our black language is definitely unifying. You understand what I'm saying?
Together.
Yeah.
It's not, man, we so inbred, man, listen, we so inbred with this, with who we are as a culture,
Yes.
that where our language is across the world.
Yeah.
Across the world. What we put out, they dictate.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying? They gonna mimic. And once everybody start realizing the power of who they are and what the power they have and how it takes you to bring it together in that soup bowl, and learn this, man. I really want y'all to learn something. We are the largest consumers. We are the largest. This year we were the second largest. But we have, as divided people here, have spent more money.
Close to 4 trillion. Close to 4 trillion.
We done spent more money here, our people, than a nation has in their whole country. And we are the lowest on the pay totem pole and everything that you can call
Pay
it.
disparities are crazy. Let me just tell you, in the industry as an actor, I look up the breakdown and I look up the roles. I'll see the white role. The white role will pay $400. The black role will pay like $250 a day or something like that. You know, that's non-union work. SAG has to pay you based on what SAG rates are. But go to non-union. Non-union is what we call modern day slavery when it comes to the film industry, and you'll see the pay disparities. Why? We are created equal, right? According to the Constitution.
True.
I think not. But three-fifths plays its way into the whole thing. And I don't care what you're looking at. I'm going to be honest with you. We unify no matter what. We was in a situation where, we had to make steak out of noodles.
Yeah.
Not lemonade out of lemons, but steak out of noodles.
Oodles and noodles.
Oodles and noodles. You know what I'm saying? Spaghetto. Yeah. So look, I will tell you this, man. If I had to leave our youth with one thought,
okay,
that one thought would be, if you decide to put on the blinders, know how to use the cane when you're walking down that journey.
This is Blunt Conversation. Black language, unifying nations together conversation. Let's talk about it with Mike Howe. Like, comment, subscribe. Peace.